with a long sequence of David stumbling into a bathroom. His eyes are still white, so he's in the process of changing back. I hope whoever came up with the white eyes got a nice bonus because it's the perfect effect for his transformation. The next question is, where is he? She's dead, Jim. I mean, David. Given the condition of the place, the Hulk has been here, and there's a nice big handprint on her back. What does he remember?
Help me, please, somebody! Can anybody hear me? Somebody, please help me! Please, help me! Help me, please, somebody!
It's not very nice, but if you find yourself in a situation like that before the dog can snap, give it a solid kick in the chest. I mean hard. If it comes back, do it again and keep doing it until the dog gets the message. Usually it only takes one. Your chances of doing serious damage to the animal are a lot less than some other ways I've heard, but it should get the point across. David doesn't know that. A nice long bite on his arm triggers the change. Then his mind quick cuts to now. He suddenly realizes he's alone in a room with a dead person and no idea how he got there or what happened. It might be a good idea to get out of there. He'll figure out where there is later. That's trouble. Whoever was in the car saw him. He just became the episode's one-armed man. The following day, he's watching a statement from the grieving boyfriend, James Joslin, CEO of Joslin Cosmetics. The dead girl, Terry Ann, was not only his live-in girlfriend, she was the face of his company. We won't get a very good look at her since it's all flashbacks and scenes of her dead, but that's Deanna Lund, whom we know most recently from Land of the Giants. Don't worry, eventually she does have more lines than help, help, help.
Yes, Mr. Joslin.
Mr. Joslin, we share your concern about this creature. Could you tell us exactly what happened last night?
By the way, he's claiming he saw the Hulk killer.
Terry and I had said goodnight to several friends, and we were alone upstairs in the den.
What time was this?
About 2 a.m.
Some of your neighbors heard cries for help at that time.
Yes, well, we were pretty rowdy. Terry, she used to joke that she could scream her head off and that no one in the neighborhood would pay any attention.
David is thinking, it didn't sound like a joke to me.
She was by the window shouting when we heard a howling outside.
Somebody help me! Help!
It was the dogs. They'd spotted an intruder and were going after him. I went to the window.
Now we know he's lying because David didn't see any guy in that window. He says the creature beat up the dogs, smashed the 2-inch solid oak front door in, and came upstairs. Okay, that much is true.
He smashed a marble statue.
He looked around and saw Terry and started toward her.
This time her screams were for real.
He tells the gruesome story of how he threw everything out of his way, grabbed her, and crushed her. The coroner's preliminary report seems to bear him out. Cause of death was a broken spine that snapped her spinal cord.
The coroner will release his official
See that girl, Jocelyn?
Now, it is not the policy
Yeah,
of this
she's pretty.
department or any law enforcement
Have you ever seen her before? I mean, do you know that face?
No.
Probably one of Jocelyn's models. Probably seen her in a magazine.
We have no choice but to inform the public of the tremendous...
I don't think so.
He saw her in the same window where he saw Terry. It's hard to miss Lonnie Anderson. He learned that Jocelyn's valet quit suddenly, and Jocelyn is interviewing replacements.
3 days later.
Who's got the one with the onions?
I do.
That figures.
I wonder when he's gonna come out. Well, he can't stay in there forever.
He may.
Assuming he does, what makes you think he'll talk to you clowns? It's not hard for David to sneak past Jack.
Hire him.
Mr. Jocelyn, yeah.
Hire him, Ellen. Don't argue. I'm James Jocelyn.
David Blaine.
I hire people on my gut reaction to them. I think we'll get along fine.
Well, thank you. I'm sure that we will.
Ellen, show Mr. Blaine to Sanderson's room and see if you can find some clothes that will fit him. He looks to be about the same size.
The guy with the mustache is Elkin. He does Jocelyn's dirty work.
He's the one from last night. I'm positive.
I had a feeling he was the one in the car. David cleans up nicely. And Lady Gaga can sort of carry a tune. Whoo!
Something wrong with the fit?
No, as a matter of fact, it's perfect, except I have a bunch of matches in my pocket. Sanderson Salvage?
Sanderson's cousin owns it.
Oh, who's he?
Sanderson, the old valet.
There's an overabundance of clothes in the closet because Jocelyn buys everybody's clothes and he likes to go overboard.
Listen, I realize it's not helping my credit. I know that. Listen, I'll have it to you as soon as possible, but I need this loan. All right. Right, I'll call you tomorrow.
Somebody's having money troubles. I wonder if David was supposed to hear that. Jocelyn says, basically, you're my personal assistant. Welcome aboard.
A Jocelyn residence?
Is Mr. Jocelyn there?
May I ask who's calling?
Tell him it's a former employee. He's expecting my call.
It's a former employee. He says you're expecting his call.
Oh, yes, excuse me. Just one moment. Would you like to get some coffee?
Thank you.
I hope that wasn't intended to move him out of earshot because the coffee service is about 6 feet away. Maybe Jocelyn thinks the coffee will be loud enough to mask the conversation. He's drinking wine, so how much does he actually understand about how coffee works?
Jocelyn here. Well, yes, of course I know what that would do. Yes, but just tell me how much you want me to pay, Sanderson. Oh, my God. Yes, of course I'll pay.
He brushes it off as severance pay stuff, but David is tucking all this away for future reference. It's time for a little eye candy in the form of Lonnie Anderson doing a photo shoot demonstrating her karate skills.
Okay, change. That's good. Okay, over there we go. Again, one more time. That's good. Change. Change. That's good. Okay, a little lower.
This goes on way too long while Jocelyn tells David her name is Sheila Cantrell and he's going to build his entire campaign around her. When things wrap up, he introduces them and asks Sheila to show David around. Beats the heck out of Elkin.
He was a different man this morning on television. He barely seems affected now.
By the murder?
Well, by the shooting session and job interviews, business calls. It's almost as if nothing had happened.
I know.
It makes you nervous.
He's a strange man, David. Watch out for him.
I think David already knows that. He's 98% sure Jocelyn killed Terry.
Elkin, join me on the patio with your gun, the one with the silencer.
Time for your predictions. Will Elkin use a silencer the right way, or will he make the typical Hollywood mistake and put it on a revolver? Take a moment to make your choice, and in a little bit, we'll see how everybody did.
Did you know her well?
Oh, she was my den mother, my sister, and advisor all rolled into one. The voice of experience. Terry'd been through everything I'm going through now. Modeling contracts, the advertising people. She was the Jocelyn girl for 5 years.
Yes, I know.
Look where it got her.
Were you here last night?
No, I'd rather not talk about it. The thought of that monster crushing her. Ugh, those white eyes.
No one mentioned any white eyes.
Busted! She tries to brush it off, but she knows she's busted. The only questions are, what is he going to do with that information, and what does he want? And now for the answer to our predictions. If you said revolver, give yourself 1,000 points. And be honest now, was that too easy?
Gone again. Do you have a light?
I think so, yeah. But if you're concerned about your health...
I know. Quit smoking. I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Well, good for you.
I would have been very surprised if she had actually lit that. From what I've read, Lonnie Anderson despises smoking. Both her parents smoked and both had major lung problems. She's been an outspoken advocate for lung health since who knows when. You can't blame her. David is tired of the verbal fencing.
I saw you in the window last night.
You were there?
Long enough to see you. I want to know why you didn't tell the police. What are you trying to hide?
Nothing. Just drop it.
Sheila, I have to know what happened.
I can't.
Did the creature really do it?
I can't. He'll kill me.
She admits that Jocelyn killed Terry. She doesn't understand why he says, "Thank God." She describes it in detail. But when he asks about the creature, it really gets interesting.
We heard him come up the stairs and down the hallway. Big, heavy steps. And then there was this roar. The creature came into the room like an angry animal. He was furious at something. It was James. He started toward him, knocking over anything in his path. James tried to hide behind the display case, but the creature just smashed it to the ground. James ran out past Sanderson and me.
If Sanderson was there, we know how he's blackmailing Jocelyn. He can refute Jocelyn's story about the creature because he saw this.
He walked over to Terry, kneeled, and picked her up. Tenderly, as if he really cared about her. It was, well, in a strange way, it was touching. The creature actually seemed to be crying over her death.
He was. He realized he got there too late to save her, and he feels responsible. She says Elkin was driving the car, but Jocelyn made her say she was. He says, "You have to go to the police. If you don't, I will." He has to clear the Hulk's name no matter what it costs him. She's almost convinced. Sorry, Elkin, even using his method, you're no Wild Bill Hickok. I think she's convinced. The first thing they need is a car. We don't even need to ask which one owns the car. Only Jack would be careless enough to leave the keys in. He left his tape recorder on the dashboard, too. That might be important later. Roll away, roll away, roll away. Everybody watch Jack's car roll away. Sheila doesn't think anybody will believe her, but David says, if Sanderson backs you up, they will, and I know where he's hiding.
Last one for today, Joe. Crunch it and then knock it off.
Yep, his cousin's wrecking yard. David found a book of matches in his coat pocket from there, and Elkin told him about the place. Elkin and presumably Jocelyn both know about this place, and it wouldn't occur to them that he's hiding with his cousin. No wonder Jocelyn is having money troubles. They've got the car crusher running full blast today. They have a lot of cars to get through. I've seen several kinds. This one has the big hydraulic slab come in from the top at an angle with one end anchored down, so it presses the car gradually from one end to the other. I've also seen the kind that bring the slab straight down from the top, as well as the kind that also have side panels that press in to squash it even more. I didn't look into the history of these things or if any of those other kinds were available in 1978 because I forgot. Sheila insists on staying with a friend rather than go see Sanderson. David has convinced Sanderson to talk to him. On a hunch, when he got out of Jack's car, he took the tape recorder, started it recording, and put it in his pocket. He sets it out. You saw Jocelyn kill Terry, and you need to go to the police like Sheila is doing.
She's going to the police.
And the only way you can avoid blackmail charges is to go with her.
Wait a minute. She told you that she was going to the police, and you believed her?
Yes.
You're out of your mind.
I'm afraid he's right, David. Because James didn't kill Terry. I did.
The first time I watched this, I kind of did a forehead slap. It was there in front of us all along. All his flashbacks have had Sheila standing behind Terry, not James. Like just about everyone else, I missed the significance of that. He saw her at the window. If she was across the room with Sanderson, how? Well done. I like it when they can catch me like that. This whole thing was a setup to get him to lead them to Sanderson. And now they're both going into a car that's headed for the crusher. The hired help are tying and gagging them while Sheila gives us the real story. It all starts with a girl who wanted to get married. Terry had been begging James to marry her for years, and he always refused. Then she found out that he was embezzling from the company and tried to blackmail him into marrying her.
She was getting old. It was time for her to leave, to get out of his life. James was mine. She knew that. And the only way she could hang on to him was to force him into marrying her.
No way. I'm not leaving. I am the Jocelyn girl.
Well, if persuasion won't work, try violence. See, all that karate stuff wasn't just for show. Sheila's a black belt.
And if that's not enough, how about this?
But she wouldn't listen. I showed her what I could do. But she wouldn't back down. Instead, she screamed for help.
Oh! Help! Help! Somebody! Help!
And that's where David came in. James was driving the car, but we already knew that because he recognized David. The big reveal is done, so it's into the car with David and Sanderson, and into the crusher with the car.
This is 2 Baker 7.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've located the reporter's stolen car. Yeah. On the corner of Solvang near Sanderson's junkyard. Yeah, why don't you run him out here for an ID?
That should put Jack on location just in time for the Hulk's big scene. This is really drawn out. I'm not crazy about the direction today. We know what's going to happen, but somebody thinks we have to wait for that crusher to ooze its way down until we start hearing crackling noises. Boy, the suspense is killing me. Now that the roof is off the car, he can break the ropes tying Sanderson's hands, then grab him by the back of his pants and give him a little boost out of there. Only one question remains: is the Incredible Hulk stronger than a car crusher? Answer: no, he isn't. But he held it up long enough for them both to get out of there.
Oh my God, it's him!
Shoot him!
Shoot him!
I dare you to pick that gun up and pull the trigger again with it in that condition. He won't get the chance. The Hulk teaches him how to fly across the yard and land on a junk pile. Even a dimwit like Jack knows those shots mean a story. Of course, he has a couple of cops there to help him figure it out.
Are you all right? Thank God you're here. That creature was going to kill us. Where'd he go? He disappeared into the yard. He's gone.
Got your car stolen, missed the Hulk again, and even lost your tape recorder. This just isn't your day, Jack, and we viewers love it. David wakes up in an alley with nothing but those white pants. And this.
I'm afraid he's right, David. Because James didn't kill Terry. I did.
Oh, come on, you knew we couldn't leave it in the crusher. What's he going to do with it?
Jack, the police tell us that something you recorded on your tape machine played a key role in the arrest of James Joslin and Sheila Cantrell. Can you tell us what it was?
Well, essentially, it was a recording of a full confession.
Yeah, he sent it back to Jack. It belongs to him. David is sensitive about these things.